Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome back to another movie review. And technically, this will be my Thanksgiving movie review. So happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Give thanks and just having nice dinner with all the families. No, I will. So just recap. I wanted to do my Thanksgiving review and a revisit review slash anniversary review, because revisiting this film for its 30th anniversary, 1988, and it's definitely a classic, and I enjoyed this film a lot. Which I have it sitting right here over the past couple of videos. I have it sitting right here, but here it is. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? 30th anniversary. I love this film. Great classic film, especially growing up. And this is the special edition, which unfolds of this book, which is the holographic shiny cover, but also to this book like a investigative journal or book, whatever. Opens up like this. Even includes a little note and some photos too of Roger Rabbit and the others, Jessica Rabbit too, and this is a special 2-disc edition, which is a nice. Disc 1 has the shorts of the Roger Rabbit shorts. Who Made Roger Rabbit, mini documentary hosted by Charles Fleischer, who voices Roger Rabbit. Toontown Trouble, it's a game setup. Disc 2 has audio commentary with director Robert Zemeckis, Frank Marshall, Jeffrey Price, Peter Seaman, Steve Starkey, and Ken Ralston. Toontown Confidential, viewing opinion on intriguing and hilarious facts and trivia. Delayed scene, the pighead sequence with a commentary. Before and after, the split screen comparison without the animation. Behind the Ears, the truth of the story of Roger Rabbit. Tune stand-ins, rehearsing stand-ins for the tunes. So yeah, it's a really great 2-disc edition. Now, this is directed by Robert Zemeckis, who directed all 3 of the Back to the Future films: Forrest Gump, Castaway, What Lies Beneath, Polar Express, Flight with Denzel Washington, and Contact with Matthew McConaughey and Jodie Foster. I like Contact. And this says Death Becomes of Her as well. Romance in the Stone. I like that film too. So yeah, Robert Zemeckis is a good director, and this film came out in the summer of 1998. Huge hit. It was the second highest grossing film in 1988, behind Rayman, I believe. Yeah, Rayman with Tom Cruise. But this film, I enjoy the film, and essentially it also received critically acclaimed. Has a high 7.7 on IMDb, deserves that, and a 97% Rotten Tomatoes, definitely deserves that. Same Rotten Tomatoes rating as Dumbo, which I previously reviewed, and Dumbo has a little small appearance in this as well. So and the film won a few Oscars here. So it became the first live action / animation film to win multiple awards since Mary Poppins. Yeah, the film won for best effects, the best sound effects editing, for best visual effects, and for best film editing. Yeah, so technically it won 3. Yeah, technically it won 3 awards. So it says won 4 Academy Awards, but it's technically it won 3. So, but regardless, so yeah, the visual effects, because I they deserve it, because the film did a great job of mixing in with the live action with the cartoon characters, and like with things like how they're doing with objects, like moving the chair or touching like the humans, wherever, if it does like this, or moving other stuff. So like that, things of that nature. So it did a great job of intertwining with the cartoons with the human world. And what more can I say? It's a film stars the late Bob Hoskins. May he rest in peace. I enjoyed Bob Hoskins as an actor, so I'm sad he's no longer with us. He's a private detective, which him and his brother were, helping out to take us to helping out Toons, and which Eddie Valiant, Bob Hoskins, he tells Roger Rabbit how, he's he drinks and like he doesn't do much of that and working with Toons anymore because his brother Teddy was killed by a Toon. So that's why he's not involved much with Toons anymore. But he gets brought with this guy by the name of R.K. Maroon, who works with the head of the studio in Hollywood. Wants to pay him to take some pictures of Jessica Rabbit, who's married to Roger Rabbit. And first he doesn't want to do it, and then he sees Dumbo out the window. So he gets paid $100, 50 now and 50 after the job. So he accepts it. He goes down to this nightclub, and for humans, and we of course get a great scene where the mixture of the Warner Brother cartoons with the Disney cartoon characters. Like, you see Daffy Duck and Donald Duck playing each other competing against each other with a piano playing, both battling it out. So it was great to see the two famous cartoon ducks together in that scene, Daffy Duck and Donald Duck. And then appearance by Betty Boop, is it Betty? Oh, everything since cartoon went to color, but I still got it. Boop boop beep beep boop. And then Jessica Rabbit comes out singing, which Jessica Rabbit's voiced by Kathleen Turner, but not the singing voice. So, and he's also Marvin Acme, who does Acme, like in the Looney Tunes, all those like this stuff like Wile E. Coyote does. So it's add me this, add me that. Sprays Bob Hoskins with some invisibility disappearing ink. And then he takes the pictures, shows Roger Rabbit. He flips out, says, I'll one way or another, I'm gonna me and Jack be together again. So I'll do it one way or another. So the next day, Marvin Acme gets killed. Safe drop on his head. They assume that Roger Rabbit is the one who did it, because since what he said last night. And then we introduce to our villain, Judge Doom, played by Christopher Lloyd. And Christopher Lloyd, to me, phenomenal and memorable as Judge Doom. I enjoyed Christopher Lloyd as Judge Doom. I thought he played a memorable villain. And he has his men, the Weasels, the Toon Patrol, which I enjoy. The Weasels, those are characters I enjoy, especially two of them. The leader of the group, Smarty, and I liked the one wearing the green suit. Greasy is the character's name. Then you have the other one that smokes a lot, Wheezy. The crazy one, the straight jacket, Psycho, and the dumb one named Stupid. But I liked Smarty and I liked Greasy. Those are my two favorites of the Weasels. But I enjoy all the Weasels overall. I thought they were interesting cartoon characters made for the movie, which I could see them having a movie on their own. Which I would have been interested to see what kind of movie they have, just a spin-off with just those cartoon characters. Made me interested to think, because I like those characters. And you get the scene where Judge Doom there's this cartoon shoe. Very dark, for happened to a cartoon character, where there's a way to kill a Toon. He calls it the dip to mix it with some other stuff, turpentine, acetone, and benzene. He calls it the dip, and then just kills that cartoon shoe. Just dips in the dip, just dissolves it. Christopher Lloyd does a good job great job as Judge Doom. First, I was gonna say Doctor Doom, but Judge Doom. And of course, you already assumes when you assume that he's a villain because who has a name named Doom in his name, I'm like assumes is a bad guy because who has a name Doom. But when Valiant goes back to his office, Roger Rabbit's there. He explains that he didn't kill him. He wrote his wife a love letter, and then the Weasels get there. Try him because their weakness is they laugh. Because if they can't stop laughing, they'll die laughing. So they leave and they head back to the bar where Eddie's girlfriend's at, Dolores, played by Joanna Cassidy. And Roger's there just keep Roger there, but later that he's singing to everybody because Bob Hoskins wanted him to sing because he's wanted for murder. Judge Doom gets there with the Weasels. He has like this little trick where he calls it the shave and a haircut. He does like this. Yeah, it's like. Yeah. No tune can resist the old shave and a haircut trick. to bring out Roger, and he's getting ready to dip him, but Bob Hoskins gets an idea to give him a drink because he had one at Maroon's office and makes him like scream very high. So he gives him a drink, which he tricks him saying, "You don't, I do, I don't." And they escape, and they get in this this cartoon taxi. What was Benny? Yeah, Benny. That's the name. The cartoon taxi cab. The Weasels chase them. They lose them. They hide in the theater watching Goofy, and that's when Bob Hoskins explains how his brother was killed by a tune. One that he had a high-pitched voice and red eyes. And so he goes to see R.K. Maroon because thinking that he's the one who did, because also they're searching for Acme's Will, because he's the one who owns Toontown. But then R.K. Maroon, he gets shot, and Bob Hoskins thinks it's Jessica Rabbit who did it. Follows all the way to Toontown, and he thinks that she's up in this building, and he gets in this elevator with that dog. Oh, I forget that dog's name. He was in the Tom and Jerry movie. I was like, "Your floor, sir." Or when he was in Tom and Jerry, he was like, "Hello, all you cranky people." Yeah, I forget what that cartoon dog's name, but he's like, "Your floor, sir." But it's actually this crazy cartoon lady. He tries to escape. He falls. He falls off the building, and he catches on this lamppost, and Tweety's there. Lets him go like, "Oh no, ran out of piggies," and as he's fallen, there we get the famous scene with Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny together. That's another famous scene where the king of Disney and the king of the Warner Brother cartoon characters together the first time together. So I thought that was a very classic scene together. Bob Hoskins is fallen. You have, like I said, Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse together for the first time. So that's definitely, because this is from Touchstone Pictures, so it's not Disney or Warner Brothers. So, but it was cool to see them together. And he's asking Bugs like, "Do you got a spare shoot?" And Mickey saying, "Bugs does." "Yeah, but I don't think you want it." I do. "Okay, Doggy, here's a spare." But it's a spare tire. He's like, "Oh, no!" And Mickey's like, "Oh, poor fella." "Yeah, ain't I a stinker?" Classic. And They found the Doom's the one who shot Arcade Maroon. And Jessica was one who saved Eddie, and as again Benny the taxi said that she knew it was Doom who did it, and he's like, oh, I have to find my husband. I'm worried about him. And Bob Hoskins like, seriously, what do you see in that guy? He makes me laugh. But they get captured by Judge Doom and the Weasels and brought back to the Acme factory. And the funny scene where they couldn't find the will, so the one Greasy, the Weasel in the green suit was search Jessica Rabbit. He's like, I'll handle this one. Of course, he wants to stick his hand where her moves are, and it's a bear trap in it. But will show up in the next 50 minutes. The Toontown will be legally Judge Doom, so he's going to use this big contraption filled with dip to erase Toontown. And the way he describes it with the music by Alan Silvestri, great score too. I enjoy the score by Alan Silvestri. It makes it describe like this is like the most evil scheme for a bad guy to explain his evil plan, because he wants to erase Toontown so Judge Doom can be he can put a freeway there, full of how would say soon will Toontown will still be a string of gas stations, inexpensive motels, restaurants served rapidly prepared food, tire salons, automobiles, dealerships, and wonderful billboards as far as the eye can see. My God, it will be beautiful. Yeah, Christopher Lloyd, and he did a great job as Judge Doom. Roger tussles through the sewer pipe. He has a gun that Eddie had, and then Greasy, who was sitting on top, flies up into this box of bricks. He cuts the rope, lands, drops the bricks on Roger, ties Jessica and Roger up, and then of course Bob Hoskins has an idea because Christopher Lloyd said, because the Weasels were laughing when he slipped and fell. It's like, one of these days you idiots are gonna laugh yourselves to death. So he plans to play this musical melody, and to make the Weasels laugh, make them laugh themselves to death, literally. Yeah, one by one, each one dies, and like their spirit leaves their body. Except for Smarty, because he said Bob Hudson's like, I'm through with taking falls. I'm bouncing off the walls. If you have that gun, I'll have some fun. I kick you in the... Roger says, nose. And Smarty's like, nose? That don't rhyme with walls. No, but this does. And kicks him between the legs. The balls, basically. Balls. And he kicks Smarty right into the dip. He dies. And the other two, Greasy dies, and Psycho dies. And the vehicle is slowly towards them with the dip spray towards them. And then Bob Hoskins fights Judge Doom. He tries to get his sword, but it's a musical sword sang by Frank Sinatra. He has this magnet, but it brings towards him, so he put it like this, and a barrel sticks between him. And Judge Doom tries to flatten it with a steamroller, so he gets himself out of it, and Judge Doom gets some glue on him, he gets caught, and then he gets flattened by the steamroller. He's like, woo! And then they see that he's actually a cartoon character. He's a cartoon. A toon. It's like, holy smoke, he's a toon! Surprise? Not really. That lame brain freeway idea can only be cooked up by a toon. Then he uses some pressurized air to inflate himself back up. Loses those eyes pop out, and has the red eyes. He's the one that killed Eddie's brother. Remember me, Eddie? When I killed your brother, I talked just like this. And to this day, to me, I think those crazy cartoon eyes, Christopher Lloyd made Christopher Lloyd still creepy to me to this day still. Just like when he just had that evil smile with those cartoon eyes, still give a creepy look to Christopher Lloyd. And he has like this, like, takes the glove up, makes like an anvil, makes it into like a buzz saw. But then Bob Hoskins gets this cartoon hammer that shoots out a spring glove, and hits the valve to release all the dip at him. And he's like, I'm melting, like saying like how the Wicked Witch would do in the Wizard of Oz. I'm melting. And so the thing crashes through the wall, gets run by a cartoon train, and all the authorities come in. All the cartoons come out. Wasted that was a mask, so we never really what the cartoon underneath was, saying that was a rubber mask. And then he sees that the invisible ink reappeared. So technically, he had Roger read that love letter, but it's actually the will written in reappearing ink, and leave all of this to town to the tunes. And the Bob Hoskins and Roger, they want to do a handshake, but then Roger had a joy buzzer, and don't tell me how you lost your sense of humor already. Does this answer your question? Kisses him. And then all the cartoons are singing, and then Porky Pig is like, hey, but that's all, folks. That's not bad. And of course, the famous, hey, that's all, folks. And then Tinkerbell comes in, bing. So yeah, I still 30 years later, it's still an enjoyable film. It's a classic film. Bob Hoskins, may rest in peace, did a great job as Eddie Valiant. Same with Christopher Lloyd as memorable Judge Doom. Charles Fleischer as the voice of Roger Rabbit, I think he did a great job. Remember I reviewed the first Nightmare on Elm Street film? Charles Fleischer had an appearance when Nancy was in the clinic, to study her was with her mom, and the doctor that was next to her, reading the readings when she's dreaming. That was Charles Fleischer, who before he voiced Roger Rabbit. It's like, hey, he was in it before, in Nightmare on Elm Street before, when he voiced Roger Rabbit. Kathleen Turner was good as Jessica Rabbit. Jonah Cassidy, when she was there as Dolores, was fine. I enjoy the characters of the Weasels as well. Like I said, I could be interested in to have their own little spin-off movie to see, or even a cartoon of them. I like to see them because I like the Weasels. I just wish they had like a little spin-off of whatever to see what adventures they have on that. But oh well. It was good to see nice seeing all the Disney and the Warner Brother cartoon characters together, especially like Daffy Duck and Donald Duck, and then Mickey Mouse and Bugs Bunny together. It was good. The film did a great job mixing with the live action world with the cartoon characters. Like I said, it's 104 minutes, but easily fast paced, and I enjoy the score by Alan Silvestri. Well directed by Robert Zemeckis. So more I gotta say. 30 years later, the anniversary of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? Judge Doom. But yeah, I still love this film. Definitely a classic. So yeah, you can check out my old review of the film. And because when I first started, I had the poster of right here of Who Framed Roger Rabbit as well. So, but yeah. So that's my third anniversary of me revisiting of the classic Who Framed Roger Rabbit / Thanksgiving review. Thanks for watching. Once again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Enjoy it with the family. And if anyone else still have not seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit, highly recommend this film. This film is not, to me, I don't think it's not dated at all either. For 30 years later, to me, I don't think it's not dated. But yeah. But anyone who's not seen this film, please check it out. I highly recommend it. You'll have a lot of laughs, a fun time with it. And this obviously also has heart to it as well. This film definitely has heart to it and charm as well. But yeah, thanks for watching, and happy Thanksgiving, and stay tuned on the next movie review. Later.